What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So I wanted to answer a bunch of you guys' questions in today's video, but first what I want to do, I've been getting a lot of questions regarding this budget reconciliation or budget resolution. What's the difference and what can we expect moving forward? So I want to address that first. So today, what happened, the Senate, they voted on a budget resolution. What this means, this was passed with a vote of 50 Democrats to 49 Republicans. What ends up happening now is the budget resolution allows the Senate to move forward, or the committees to move forward, and then present the budget reconciliation to bring all the different pieces of this budget together. So this is just the first step. Just because they pass this today from a 50 to 49 vote doesn't mean much in regards to stimulus, other than we got on the right track, that they put us on the path and now we can start moving. That's it. So even though this sounds exciting, that yes, the Senate voted, they passed it, we're gonna get stimulus. Nah, hold up, wait a minute. It's gonna take a little bit. It's gonna take a little bit of time. So what we know is the Senate voted on this today. It passed. The House is supposed to vote on this tomorrow. It's expected to pass. Again, it has to pass through both houses. Pass through the Senate. Now it's going to go to the House. Chances are it's going to pass. However, there's still a possibility that it doesn't. So we will have to just keep that in mind. But let's just assume it passes. Let's just assume that, okay, we are now on the right path. We're going to start moving down that track, and we are potentially going to see stimulus. Well, what we know is if it's through a budget reconciliation, then we are going to see at least $1.9 trillion in stimulus. This will not all go to direct payments. There will be about $1 trillion that goes to direct payments. That's to you and I. The rest is going to go to other things. For example, state and local government funding. Another thing would be school funding, vaccines, things like that. So here's what we know. Here's what's in the American Rescue Plan. Again, I'm just going to break this down very quickly just so that you know what we can expect moving forward. Because right now, the GOP plan, the plan that was proposed yesterday, first off, was complete garbage because it didn't offer enough stimulus. Now, I'm not saying their plan didn't have some merit behind it and it couldn't be flushed out and made better. It could, but that plan in itself alone was garbage. It would not provide for the American people. It would not get this economy turned back around. So here's what President Biden is calling for. He wants $1,400 stimulus checks. This in conjunction with the $600 equals $2,000. I get it. President Trump, or former President Trump, is the one that signed off on the $600, not President Biden. I get it. I understand. But that's currently what's on the table. $1,400 stimulus checks to filers, to their spouses and children and adult dependents. So that is good. They will, again, this is what's being talked about. They will most likely go from $75,000 for an individual and $150,000 in income for a family or lower. They would get a stimulus check. But here's what they're currently talking about. We could see this go from 75, maybe down to 70 or possibly 60, but going all the way down to 50 is not seen as likely. As far as going from 150 down to like 100, that's not going to happen. We could see it go from 150 down to like 140, maybe 125, but even 125 is still pushing it. So if you make under $125,000 or $130,000 as a couple, you will probably still get a stimulus check. There will also be unemployment assistance. This is $400 per week all the way till September 30th. There will be rental assistance and more eviction protection, more eviction extended eviction moratorium. This will go on, will be $25 billion, and we will see the eviction moratorium also go all the way till September 30th. There will be help for people with, as far as nutrition, a 15% SNAP increase. They're going to invest $3 billion to help women, infant, and children secure food and give U.S. territories another $1 billion. There'll be money for childcare and additional tax credits, temporary increase in tax credits for children. This would be go from $2,000 per year up to $3,600 for a child between 0 and 5. And if you're between 6 and 17, it would be $3,000. He would also increase the earned income credit from was it $500 now up to $1,500. So that's another big increase. There'll be subsidies for health insurance premiums, restoration of emergency paid leave. This is currently expired, but if they renew this would go all the way until September 30th as well. There's more assistance for small businesses. I believe it's $15 billion there, and $350 billion to state and local government, as well as territories. And then we also have it's like 160 billion, it's right around there, for vaccines. 20 billion is going to go to the National Vaccination Program, which is key. There'll be 50 billion that goes to testing, tracing, and PPE. And then we also have a $15 per hour federal minimum wage. So those are big. But you got to remember, Democrats are pushing forward with this. They're not stopping. They do not want to wait. They have said multiple times, time is of the essence. Right now, the American people are suffering, and we cannot wait. We cannot wait an additional day. But the ironic thing is, and just let me know if you think this is a little bit odd as well, the ironic thing is the House didn't want to vote on this today. We could have been voting on this already. The House is going to vote on this tomorrow. Well, we can't wait an additional day, but the House is going to wait an additional day just to get started on the process. So that's big. Now, here's one of the things that I want to address that I think a lot of people are really struggling with. First off, will I get a stimulus check? Will I get additional unemployment benefits? Will I get anything, more rental assistance? Which, as of right now, the rental assistance programs for some of these states and some of these counties are just now issuing actual payments to landlords. I've been getting emails all day today saying that some people have been getting their payments. Others are still waiting, but that's a good thing. Not that they're waiting, but we are starting to see the payments rolling out. I say this because we were supposed to see these payments. Technically, it was supposed to come the first couple weeks of January, but I called this. I said this early on. I said this at the end of December, that we would not see any rental assistance payments probably till the end of January, if not the first couple weeks of February. Well, it's February 2nd, and people are starting to get their checks now. These are landlords that are getting their checks. So I just want to put that out there, that if you need rental assistance, and you can go back all the way 12 months, an additional 3 months ahead. If you are behind any amount, apply for rental assistance. Now, you may not qualify, and I understand that, but it does not hurt to just apply. Now, if you make $250,000 and you're trying to qualify, you're probably going to get denied, and that wouldn't be the best use of your time. But if, let's say, you make $45,000 and you're just a little bit behind, you could potentially qualify. So in that sense, go and apply. Also, if you are struggling to put food on the table, apply for SNAP benefits. Apply. And most states now are starting to accept pandemic EBT. So if you have school-age children, or even a child that is younger, 0 to 18, if you have children in that age group, you're struggling to put food on the table, apply for pandemic EBT, apply for SNAP benefits, apply for rental assistance. Again, maybe you're paying your rent, but the problem is now you can't afford food. You can't afford to put gas in your car to go to work or take your kids to school if they do have an open school. So in that sense, apply for rental assistance. You may not be behind, but if they can pay 3 months in advance, and now you have 3 months of rent in advance that you can put towards food, gas, your bills, then do that. And even if it's utilities, internet, electricity, water, things like that, that are necessities. Internet, not really a necessity, but for school-age children, it is at this point in time. So because of that, go and apply for rental assistance. Go and apply for utility assistance. Because I guarantee you, you could potentially get something. And if you get a little bit of money, that's going to go a long ways. I guarantee it. Now, Here's another big thing. This is a big story. Kind of breaking news. This happened earlier on today, but I want to address this. There are 2 Democrats that are now proposing a bill to provide tax relief to those that were on unemployment last year. So let's say you got some unemployment. You owe, say, $5,000. Here's the issue. You have to pay taxes on the $5,000. In many states, they allow you to take 10% off for taxes. But in most cases, that 10% does not cover the tax that you have to pay. So you'll have to put in a little bit extra. But here's what you need to understand. 2 Democrats. There's Senator Dick Durbin from Illinois, and we also have Representative Cindy Axne. I don't remember exactly how to say her name. She's from Iowa. And today they introduced a bill aimed to providing tax relief to people who received some form of unemployment benefits last year. Now, this legislation, which again, I believe this could ultimately get tied to the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. I believe it can. Don't quote me on that. I believe it can because this does ultimately affect the budget, I believe. So, right now, what they are saying is this current legislation would exempt federal income taxes for the first $10,200 in unemployment benefits from people that received benefits last year. That's big. That is big. Here's the reason why. Let's say you received $10,200. 10% of that would be $1,200. That is a stimulus check. That is one of our stimulus checks. $1,200. But most people are going to pay a little bit extra. So let's say you're not going to pay 10%, you're going to pay, let's say 15%, for taxes. Let's say your wife or your spouse had a decent year, you filed together, you're going to make a little bit extra, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. So let's say it's really going to come out to like 15%. Well, for the sake of math, so I don't have to try to figure out 15% of $10,200, let's just say it's $10,000 that you made in unemployment benefits. Well, if they exempt you from paying these, then you do not have to pay, again, if you normally pay 15%, or let's just say on average, simple math, you don't have to pay $1,500 in taxes. That's like an additional stimulus check right back to you. And this is big. This is a new bill. This is a new proposal that they just introduced today. Here's one of the quotes, okay? This is from Dick Durbin. He says, families across the country are struggling to keep a roof over their head, food on the table, and pay for healthcare and other necessities. As we grapple with the economic pain of this pandemic, the bill I'm introducing today with Representative Axne would provide tax relief to unemployed Americans so they can spend their benefits supporting their families and their communities. That is big. That is very big. That's a new proposal. And again, I think this is an incredible proposal. There's over 19 million people that are currently on unemployment. There's been, I don't know how many people over the course of the past 12 months have been on unemployment at some time. But just think about this. If every single person that was on unemployment, if they made $10,000 on unemployment, which I know everybody didn't, but let's say they did, if they made $10,000 and they didn't have to pay back 10%, that is $1,000. That's big. That is huge. That could help out many, many families. And like Dick Durbin said, this would also help out their communities. It would support their families and their communities, which is key. If we cannot support our family, we cannot be a contributing member to our community, how are we supposed to really help the economy? It becomes one of those, never-ending cycles. So right now, it looks like they're trying to do other things. They're thinking outside the box. And it looks like the $1.9 trillion stimulus package, remember I said earlier on in this video, it will be at least $1.9 trillion. However, based off the research I've been doing lately, it is looking like there are multiple bills going to hit the floor of the House and the Senate. Multiple bills. So this could ultimately increase the cost of this stimulus package way over $2 trillion. Right now, what we're hearing is if Democrats are going to do a budget reconciliation anyway, why not just pump it up and get everything through so that they don't have to do another budget reconciliation later on this year and use up another one. They can save that for something later on. So That's what we're hearing, but as always, as I know more, as I hear more, as I learn more, I'm learning a lot of this stuff at the same time you do. Maybe a little bit sooner, being that I'm doing the research and then I provide the update for you. But I'm learning as we go as well. There's so much information. There's so many details that I gotta pick through, figure out what is actually the truth and what is just complete crap that people are putting online, because there's a lot of that. I guarantee you there's a lot of that. So that's what we know right now. But if you have any questions on any of this stuff, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you guys on the next one.